All right, let's dive into this dark, really twisted story about one man's spectacular rise and, well, his even more spectacular fall. But we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to start right at the very end. So, right off the bat, we meet our guy, Chad Winters. And he's not our hero, not by a long shot. He's a killer. Picture this. He's in some beach hut, a glass of scotch in his hand, and he's recording his life story for the district attorney. Oh, and there's a dead woman in the room with him. He's forcing himself to spill every last detail of how he got to this exact moment. And this confession, it's the frame for this whole explainer. See, Chad isn't just admitting what he did, he's promising the DA the whole story. Not just how it happened, but why it had to end this way, in bloodshed. Which, of course, makes you ask the big question: how on earth did it all begin? To answer that, we've got to rewind things just a few months. And when we find Chad, he is at absolute rock bottom. He's working a dead-end job he completely despises as an assistant clerk at the Pacific Banking Corporation. And you gotta love the contrast here, right? On the outside, Chad Winters looks like he has it all together. He's sharp, handsome, got that rebellious swagger. But the reality? Oh, it's a total train wreck. He's drowning in debt, fielding angry letters from creditors, and to top it all off, his girlfriend just told him she's pregnant. He is backed into a corner, and he knows it. So he's basically just waiting for the axe to fall. He's expecting to get fired any second. But then his boss, a Mr. Sternwood, calls him in. And instead of canning him, Sternwood offers him one last chance. And trust me, this is a poisoned chalice if I've ever seen one. It's a job so awful, so soul-destroying, it feels a lot more like a punishment than a promotion. And what's the job? It's a doozy. He gets assigned to manage the account of Vesta Shelley, the bank's richest and by far most notoriously difficult client. Vesta inherited $70 million, and she uses every single penny of it like a weapon. The woman is a flat-out tyrant who gets her kicks tormenting the people who work for her. And if you want a perfect picture of what he's up against, this is how Chad describes the guy he's replacing, Tom Leadbeater. When Chad tells him he's taking over the account, the guy doesn't just look relieved. He literally breaks down into hysterical, sobbing sobs. I mean, it is a shocking sight, and it's a huge red flag for the kind of psychological warfare Chad's about to walk into. But here's the thing about Chad. He has absolutely no intention of being victim number 16. Nope. From the very first moment he meets Vesta Shelley, he decides, you know what? I'm not playing her game. She's going to play mine. He's about to flip the script completely. So how does he do it? Well, first off, he shows up looking like a movie star, not some stuffy banker. When she makes him wait, he doesn't just sit there. He wanders off into her garden. After about 15 minutes, he strolls back in, types up a quick note telling her she's wasting his time and, more importantly, her money. And when he finally gets in to see her, his opening move is to offer to help her commit tax fraud on a brand new mink coat. The nerve. And this, right here, is the absolute key to the whole con. Instead of fighting her greed, which is what every other clerk did, Chad embraces it. He tells her, look, I'm not here for the bank. I'm here for you. He's aligning with her against everybody else. And man, does it work. She's not just impressed by his audacity, she's genuinely intrigued. So he's got the heiress on his side. The grift is officially on. And he does not waste a single second. He immediately starts building his own little empire, using Vesta Shelley's powerful name to start lining his own pockets. First up, a cool $500. He makes a deal with a shady character named Mo Burgess who wants to buy one of Vesta's properties to turn it into a brothel. Chad gives it the green light and walks away with a cash bribe. He's just getting warmed up. Next, he goes to another sketchy guy, Bernie Ho. He offers Bernie Vesta's very profitable rental management business, all in exchange for a nice $1,000 kickback. But the real money, the big score, comes from the stock market. He uses Vesta's name and her credit, totally without her permission, by the way, and gets a broker to make a massive buy. Hours later, he sells, clearing a $35,000 profit. He tells Vesta she made $20,000 and just pockets the rest. So after just 2 days, his total take is an incredible $24,000. So you see the pattern here, right? It's a simple but brutally effective little scheme. He makes these corrupt deals, then he tells his boss that Vesta, the notoriously impossible client, forced him to do it. And all the while, he's using her money to play the market. He's built a system where he's completely untouchable. Or so he thinks. Of course, a con this bold, this audacious, you know it's going to hit a snag eventually. And that snag's name is Bernie Haw. He gets impatient, decides to go straight to Vesta herself, and in doing so, he puts the entire con on the verge of total collapse. Yep, Bernie Ho spills the beans, tells Vesta everything about that $1,000 bribe. Vesta, realizing she's been played, is beyond furious. I mean, livid. She summons Chad to her mansion immediately. Her secretary even warns him on the phone. I have never, ever seen her this angry. But then, in a twist you would never see coming, Chad gets a lifeline from the last person on Earth you'd expect, Vesta's own secretary, Eve Dolan. And her advice is wild. She tells him, don't apologize. Don't make excuses. The only way to survive this is to attack. You have to shout louder than she does. And what does he do? He takes her advice. When Vesta confronts him, he doesn't just yell back. He unleashes on her. He calls her out. It gets physical. She slaps him, he grabs her and shakes her. And this raw, violent explosion of rage completely shatters her dominance. In that moment, the entire power dynamic just flips. She's not just beaten, she's utterly fascinated by the one man who wasn't afraid of her. And just like that, everything changes. He walks into that room as her target and walks out as her master. He survives, and he emerges with absolute total control. Vesta Shelley and her entire $70 million fortune are now his to command.
So Chad is on top of the world. He has won. And to celebrate, he takes his new prize, Vesta, absolutely dripping in diamonds, out for a night at the fights. It's a very public display of his new power and her submission.
But right then, at the absolute peak of his triumph, a new character walks up to their table. Lieutenant Sam Leggett, City Police. And unlike everyone else, Leggett is not intimidated by Vesta's money. And he is definitely not charmed by Chad's act. He's completely unimpressed. The dislike between the two of them is instant. You can feel it. For the very first time, Chad has run into someone he can't manipulate, someone he can't bully. Leggett's cold, calculating eyes look right through the expensive suit and the confident smile. He doesn't see a successful banker. He sees a con man. And he makes it crystal clear that he'll be watching. And this is where it all comes full circle. Chad may have conquered the heiress, but a new and way more dangerous game has just started. We began this whole explainer with that murder confession, and now we're left with a million-dollar question. How does this new threat, this one unimpressed cop, ultimately lead to that body in the beach hut?